Are you as confused about West Ham United as I am? Hello, welcome to On Me Edson. I hope you're all well. So, the football world just gets madder and madder. FIFA are just doing the best they can to self-implode. UEFA say no, we're going to boycott all subsequent World Cups. Serve CONCACAF, or however you pronounce that in South America. Infantino is on his way out. And, they want to sell off the World Cup and do their own little thing. But that is kind of insignificant when you compare that to what's going on at West Ham United. Because if you're anything like me, you're totally confused. If you're wondering who actually owns this club and what manoeuvrings are going on behind the scenes, you're kind of scratching your head thinking, whatever next? I've got a terrible feeling that we are just being played here. That the powers that be in the boardroom are just using West Ham as a club, as a fan base, and they're pulling the wool over our eyes, or they're trying to, and they're just feathering their own nests once again. I've just had this horrible feeling for weeks and weeks, and I can't shift it. Whilst I've been hopeful, and we've all kind of ridden this wave of optimism, Kretinsky, by the club, they put out a statement, they're going to buy the shares, and it's all going to be all good. Okay, maybe we'll read them between the lines a little bit, right? But yet, nothing's been proven to us. Now the latest, of course, we hear Amanda Staveley coming in. Now, is she going to buy the gold shares, or is she going to buy the remainder of the gold shares? Who knows? Is this some way of Kretinsky just leveraging his position to maybe inflate the value of his own shares so that he can sell them on to Staveley and her consortium afterwards? Is this something to do with Sullivan as well? And maybe he can leverage his price point or the cost of his shares so he can make even more money. Either way, it doesn't sit well with me. There's something not quite right here. And it's just been bugging me for weeks and weeks. And if you're anything like me, you're kind of wondering, well, what's going on? What's going on at the club? We're still looking at, are we going to be ready for the new campaign? Are we going to be ready with new players? Yes, we're being linked with players left, right and centre. That'll never change. But in terms of doing that business, who is in charge of it? What is the structure behind the club? We thought those days, those circus days, were behind us. But as far as I can tell, it seems to be chaotic behind the scenes. It seems as if that, well, who knows what's going on? Who knows if we're being taken for a ride here? Who knows as if they're just using the club, the name of the club, the name of West Ham United, who have fallen on hard times in terms of going to the Championship, and they see an opportunity to make a lot of money on the back of the club and the potential asset of the stadium. If they can do a deal with, the London Mayor, LLDC, to get that land, to get that club in whichever way you look at this, it looks as if their interests are in money, their interests are in the value of the club, and not in the interests of the club in terms of a football sense, in terms of the fan base. I just feel, I've just got this horrible feeling that all this wave of optimism has been manufactured. It's been manufactured by the club, saying that Kretinsky is going to take over, that they're all pulling together. Sullivan's being pushed out, and, it's all us now. And then guess what? Hey, everybody, it's all going to be good from now on, and let everybody buy your season tickets, and everybody, join us, and thank you so much for supporting us. If you renewed your season ticket, you would have got that thank you email from the club saying thank you so much for being part of us, being part of the West Ham family. Well, I'm just wondering, is this a West Ham family anymore? Is this a way to run a club? I don't know. You're so almost into the season, and you're trying to rework the ownership of the club, when what we should be focusing on is the squad, the players, the manager. We don't even know at this stage if the manager is going to be in place in the next 2 or 3 weeks at this rate. We don't know what players are coming in. We don't know even who's deciding which players are coming in, let alone targeting those players, let alone who's doing the deals. You want to play Celtic pretty much for a £25 million player and pay over the odds for a £25 million player, or player they're valuing at £25 million, because they know we've just sold a couple of players for 150 odd million. Where has that money gone? I asked this in a previous video. Where has that money gone? Has this been sent to pay off loans, pay off debts? Or was it so that we could buy new players? What about Kretinsky? Wasn't he supposed to be putting in more money in? Wasn't this delay in buying the gold shares, wasn't this all to they were trying to sort out the legitimacy, they were doing the due diligence of him buying those shares? But surely he's a current shareholder, so that should have been a quick process. And because it hasn't been a quick process, that's when alarm bells started ringing for me. You think, well, what is going on here? What is the delay? Surely there shouldn't be a delay. Then Staveley comes up again, and you don't know whether this is a true link, or you don't know whether it's how real this is, or how close to a deal this is. We don't know who's going to own this club. So if you don't know who's the captain of the ship, as it were, you don't know what the direction of the club is going to be in the future. You don't know, or I don't know, what the squad is going to be, what the manager is going to be, what kind of football we want, what kind of relationship with the fans are going to be. We don't know about the future of the club in terms of direction, in terms of ownership, in terms of training facilities. The list goes on and on and on. It's been a shower, a complete shower, this whole thing, and I'm kind of fumbling my words a little bit, because I'm a little bit perplexed as to what is going on now. The longer this has gone on, I start to question the integrity of those in the positions of power at West Ham United. I question the integrity of Kretinsky, of Varane, of Koppen, of Chorley, of Nuno, of all the staff, and I question what is being told to the players, and ultimately what we are being led to believe, or in the actual case here, what we're not being told, what nobody's been told. We had one statement a few weeks ago where Kretinsky was supposed to be buying a percentage, a portion of the gold shares, but nothing since. Well, that just tells me that something isn't quite right in the West Ham world. Something's not quite. This is no way to start a new season. This is no way to get into a new season. Now, of course, Staveley with the links with, trying to buy Spurs, and then also, leaving Newcastle. People are putting two and two together and say, well, Eddie Howe coming in. If you ask a Newcastle United fan, half of them say, no, we need Eddie Howe. Half of them say, couldn't wait to get rid of him. They hated him. They thought he was a complete shower. So we're going from one kind of calamity of a manager to another one. Nobody knows what's going on. I'm not saying the Eddie Howe link is real, but we're kind of putting two and two together here. The point is that we don't even know where we're heading in the next 2 or 3 weeks, let alone what's going to happen in the next 4 or 5 months, 6 months. Because at the very top, they can't even sort themselves out. They can't even run this club like a proper business. And this is from business people. And you got the likes of Kretinsky, who owns another club, and you kind of think, well, you either want to invest in this club, West Ham, or you don't. You either want to say that you are, and you're just trying to get more money, more value for yourself, then your heart is not in West Ham. Your ownership isn't in West Ham for the right reasons. When you own a club, you should be owning one club. That's it. So go back to Prague. Go back there and just focus on that other club over there, Slavia Prague, or Sparta Prague, whoever the fuck you own. Go back there. I don't want you here if you're not focused 100% at West Ham. And if it means you sell all your shares to Staveley, and if her intentions are sound with resurrecting West Ham, then fine. But nothing has been proven to me yet. Nothing has been shown to me that I have any faith in what is going on here. And I'm not even talking about football yet. regardless of what I believe or what I feel about Nuno and the players and the squad and preparedness of the season, which I think is an absolute shower. We're not prepared at all. This is a totally negative, pessimistic view of it, but I just cannot see how we're going to get players last minute and they're going to be ready to go within a week, within 8 days, let's say. It's just not right. And it's not one player. We need a whole host of players, let alone the potential of youth being sent out now and being sold. What are we doing? Where's the direction here? Where is the identity? Where is the West Ham way? Where is the West Ham desire to stabilise the club, create a much surer foundation and get us promoted, or certainly get us in those playoff positions at the first time of asking? Where is it? Where is it? Because all I see is a total disorganized chaos. And then you've got potential owners who are not investing, not getting into the club and pushing right from the word go. And you're just saying, well, I might not want to buy, I might buy, I might not buy, I might sell, I might not sell. This is not any way to run a club. This is no way to run a business. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like what I do here, keep on watching. But if you are as confused as I am of what's going on, maybe you're as perplexed as I am. See, I tell you, I'm so livid with this now that I can't even get my words out. It's just absolute chaos at West Ham. And, I thought it was an absolute shower in FIFA in the World Cup. But that just pales into insignificance when we're talking about West Ham right now. If you like what I do, say keep on watching. And, just watch this space, because maybe the confusion will be sorted by next week. Tune in next week. See what happens. Catch you again. Bye now.